Welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars, the corner of the internet where the sparkle of celebrity collides with raw human truth. I wish I could say today is just another whisper from the rumor mill, a harmless ripple in the sea of showbiz. But what unfolded hours ago wasn't a headline crafted in a PR office. It was unguarded, unedited, and devastatingly sincere. Yaman, the man who built a reputation on iron composure and larger-than-life charm, broke down in front of thousands during a live broadcast. Not a performance. Not a calculated scene. Real tears. Real regret. A confession so stark it stunned not only Turkey but the global community that has watched his story with Demet Özdemir for years. Can a love that slipped away be salvaged after a public admission of guilt? How has Demet received this plea, this late surge of truth? And what about the letter that surfaced days later? What did it say, and who truly wrote it? Tonight, on Secrets Behind the Stars, we unspool the anatomy of a heart cracked open on camera. Before we descend into this storm of emotion, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so you won't miss how this saga unfolds, and if you value our commitment to honest storytelling, consider joining our VIP community by hitting the join button. Your support keeps this channel fearless and relentless. Now, take a breath, grab a tissue, because Ken has spoken, and he didn't hold back. It started as a routine slice of digital life. Ken, poised and seemingly at ease, went live to connect with his fans. The agenda was straightforward: to chat about a new theater project on the horizon, field a few career questions, keep the mood bright and breezy in the way his followers adore. For the first stretch of the stream, he was all familiar warmth. Grinning between answers, speaking with that unmistakable gusto about the stage, discipline, and texts that move him. Nothing hinted at what was about to fracture the screen. Then fate, or perhaps the collective heartbeat of the chat, intruded with a single, almost childlike question that cut through the noise. Do you miss Demet? Time paused. You could see the change wash over him, quick, visible, irreversible. The smile was gone, not softened but snuffed out. Ken stared off camera, eyes fixed on something far beyond the lens, and a silence descended that felt as endless as it was eloquent. That silence told a story all its own. When he finally spoke, his voice carried an unfamiliar fragility. I don't usually talk about this, he began, steadying himself, but yes. I miss her every day. No filters. No carefully arranged sentences. Just truth, raw and unbuffered. And then he kept going. Word after word landing like a drumbeat in the chests of those who'd idolized their love. I lost her, and that's on me. I didn't know how to protect what we had. I didn't know how to listen. I was afraid to look in the mirror. The truth is, she deserved better. Seeing someone like him, so often controlled, so often impenetrable, wipe his face with his sleeve, unable to hide the shaking, created a digital earthquake. Ken crying live, posts exploded across platforms. This isn't a scene. This is pain. But what thundered louder than the tears was the blunt admission. He named the sin too many people carry unspoken: emotional neglect. There were days she asked me to talk. To get help. To try therapy. To sit down and really be with her, he confessed. I was always on set, running to an interview, chasing the next thing. I thought love could carry itself. I was wrong. In one breath, he confirmed what many had suspected, that Demet had fought for them. That she reached out, again and again. That he met those pleas with the brick wall of a calendar and a restless ambition. He admitted that he placed career and ego above her heart, a choice that now wakes him in the middle of the night to a bed that feels too big. And then, in a moment that was almost cinematic in its clarity, he described the end. I remember her putting on her jacket. Picking up her bag. She looked at me with this sadness I can't forget, he said, voice breaking. She told me, I can't keep loving alone. And she walked out. That line, I can't keep loving alone, rings like the epitaph of what they were. He said he believed she'd come back, that it was just another fight, something they'd resolve in the morning. But Demet didn't return. And her absence became the loudest thing in his life. Let's pause here. Because this isn't just about two famous people, it's about the math of pride and the cost of silence. How often do we let deadlines and vanity drown out the voices begging us to show up? Can is learning late, and painfully. Is a confession this public, this unvarnished, enough to repair what was broken? Or are there wounds that even live tears can't stitch? Tell me in the comments. And if this story hits something tender in you, show it some love with a like for candor in an industry that fears it. As the internet blazed, one question overtook the rest: where is Demet? How does a woman absorb words like these from the man who once had her heart and lost it? Publicly, she's been a fortress, silent, classy, controlled. But people close to the actress whispered to secrets behind the stars. They say she watched the video. She didn't think he'd say it out loud, a friend told us under strict anonymity. It hit her somewhere deep. The reaction wasn't triumph or indifference, it was shock. The source claimed Demet retreated into her home for hours, powered down her phone, trying to process a flood of feelings that didn't have tidy names. She's shaken. Conflicted. Because for the first time, she believes he's really being honest, the friend added. But she's terrified it might be too late. That's the cruel crossroads, growth built on ruins. Ken himself acknowledged during the live that she's not waiting around. She's not standing still. She's moving, he said quietly. And I respect her for it. And yet the past has the worst timing. Just when the noise seemed ready to fade, he stirred the waters again. 3 days after the live stream, his team began canceling commitments due to emotional exhaustion, a gentle way of saying the man was shattered. Then, in the dead of night, he posted a black and white story. A minimalist photograph, a folded letter resting on a wooden table beside a half-finished cup of coffee. The caption was sparse but heavy. I'm not asking you to come back. Just know that you're still here. No flourish, no tags, just a sentence that felt like a door left ajar. Was the letter real, or a metaphor crafted to say what his voice couldn't? Fans didn't hesitate. Ken hasn't closed the book. Far from it. He's calling out in a quiet room and praying for an echo. But then the plot thickened. An entertainment journalist claimed exclusive intel, that the letter wasn't a prop at all. I was told it reached her apartment by private courier, the journalist announced on a late-night segment, no return address, but the handwriting? Unmistakable. And she read it more than once. If true, Ken moved from public confession to the most old-fashioned overture of all, ink on paper. What words did that page hold? Apologies? Promises? Or a final bow he felt needed to be written by hand so it would land softly? And of course, the Candem fandom did what it does best. Turned into the most devoted detective agency in show business. They tracked coincidences that might not be coincidences at all. They noticed Demet quietly unfollowing a handful of accounts in a pattern that felt like a life cleanse. They pointed out that both of them had the same melancholy track floating on their public playlists, like a conversation carried by melody. Tiny clues that say everything, one fan wrote. Then came the oddest detail: a mutual friend, someone very close to Demet, was spotted leaving the cafe where Ken has been spending long afternoons lately, nursing his thoughts with espresso and silence. Pure chance? Or a messenger, walking a careful line between two islands that don't know how to build a bridge again? The air around them now is almost unbearable. Can's gone quiet, pulling back from the public eye just as he opened his chest to it. Vulnerability demands courage, but it also strips you bare. In the live, he added a line that stayed with many. Sometimes I write a message and delete it. I don't want to hurt her again. We've both been through enough. That's not the old, possessive love that wants to claim. That's the love that has learned to be afraid of causing harm. And then there's Demet, the one who holds the last word. The fanbase is split down the middle. One side is lifting banners for reconciliation. If it's real, it deserves one more chance. The other side, fierce and protective, cautions against revisiting pain. He had time when it mattered. Silence was his answer then. They're both right in ways that make this unbearable. Because something shifted with those tears. It wasn't just a spectacle. It was a mirror. Can's honesty reached not only Demet but everyone who has ever learned too late how precious something was. This has stopped feeling like a series plotline. It's life, a messy, human, imperfect life. Is this the preface to a second act few dared to hope for? Or the epilogue to a story that ended too long ago to resurrect? At Secrets Behind the Stars, we'll trace every chord of music, every vanishing follow, every shadow of a letter as this real-life drama unfolds. We won't let truth drown in the echo chamber of speculation. Now it's your turn. If you stood where Demet stands, letter in hand, a world watching, would you read to the last line and leave the door cracked? Or would you close it gently and walk away for good? Tell me below. Don't forget to like this video if it made your heart ache a little, subscribe so you're here when the next piece falls into place, and consider joining the channel through the join button to keep this space fearless and independent. Be kind to your own heart, keep your eyes open, and stay with us. Secrets Behind the Stars will be here for the next chapter.